We leave you with a look at our democracy and how, during these troubled times, we are increasingly looking to ourselves for leadership. America's two fundamental powers, as General Jim Mattis tells it, are inspiration and intimidation. But lately, the world has been left hungry for a strong dose of the first. America's being humbled by this invisible enemy. It is a stress test on our democracy. The virus exploits the cracks in our institutions, the social, economic, and racial disparities that define who is most vulnerable. The U.S. has the world's highest number of COVID-19 infections and reported deaths. The White House says that statistic does not reflect the large size of the U.S. population and the comparatively low 5.7% mortality rate.
We were at the top of the list in terms of success. Nobody wrote it. Nobody wrote it in terms of mortality. You saw that. Nobody wrote it.
But arguing over relative death rates seems at best morbid. More than half of Americans, 57%, say the U.S. effort to deal with coronavirus is going badly. And more than half think day-to-day life in this nation will be permanently changed, according to the latest CBS News poll. Images of the wealthiest country in the world facing overwhelmed hospital wards, food bank lines, and digging potters' graves is shocking for those who view America as an aspiration, one that has long boasted of its leading medical and technological research. South Korea has become the gold standard for public health. Massachusetts looked there for inspiration for its own contact tracing plan. German Chancellor Angela Merkel earned praise for keeping infection rates low. Perhaps her background as a scientist is what makes her so precise, a contrast to President Trump, who continues to push treatments that his own medical advisors reject.
I said, supposing you brought the light inside the body, which you can do either through the skin or in some other way. And then I see the disinfectant where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning? Deborah, have you ever heard of that? The heat and the light relative to certain viruses, yes, but relative to this virus?
Not as a treatment. I mean, certainly fever is a good thing. When you have a fever, it helps your body respond. But not as, I've not seen heat or light.
I think it's a great thing to look at. I mean, you know.
The call for global leadership has so far gone unanswered at the UN, and the U.S. froze funding to the World Health Organization. The leadership America needs may come from the ground up. From people like these Pennsylvania workers who labored for 28 straight days, even sleeping in the factory, in order to produce protective gear. From these Georgia business owners who are defying the governor's calls to reopen.
You can't bring people back to life, but you can start a business again.
Ultimately, it will be up to the American people to decide when they feel safe enough to emerge and to make the unthinkable calculation of what an acceptable death rate is. This crisis has helped us learn who really is essential in America: the grocers, caregivers, delivery men, janitors, electric grid operators, and of course, the heroic frontline healthcare workers. Their collective bravery is a reminder that the survival of this democracy may ultimately rest with we the people.